right, folks. Hope you're dropping that Twitch Prime, the Prime Gaming. Make sure you give me that $2.50. You know I need it. We fired our intern, so we had no one to write the questions. So this interview is completely unplanned. But enough talking. Time to bring out our world-famous guest, one of the greatest Rocket League casters I ever seen in a person, and the passion behind this man was incredible. Everybody, give it up for another handsome co-host of Late Night with Lows. It's Maz.
I'm gonna try to see how long you could hold that. That was pretty good. I'll give you that. That was pretty solid. I was a little bit longer than I probably could have ever done.
I was getting raspy on this, so that's why I had to cut it close. Cut it quickly. Listen, let me try it one more time. I'm sorry, you were in the middle of something. I'm sorry, but give it up for I'm gonna cut it off because my neighbor's gonna get pissed.
That was still good. It was still very good. You looked frozen during that. I looked up and you weren't moving at all. I don't think either of us were moving. So unless you had the audio, you probably thought that the screen crashed.
I actually my stone face game when it comes to the desk in terms of casts, it goes crazy. I just do this. I'll do the occasional, like one of those. Yeah, yours is pretty solid too. Like you were holding it.
I'm just trying to see. I'm like seeing how how frozen can we actually get here? How can we just go completely still, and does it work?
Yeah.
It's a bit different though. I'm also realizing now the couches on here almost line up exactly with the couch I had. Had I been able to see that like a little bit earlier, I probably would have tried to figure out a way out to rig my mic and just sit on the couch the whole time. Imagine.
I have a dream. I have a dream that one day I will have actual couches. I mean, not to say that these aren't actual couches, and I'm not actually in a studio right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Just my own studio space where I could bring people in and have some real chats with real people in a real location.
Yeah, I think we'll have that come up soon. I mean, hey, listen, it's not too hard to get out to Texas nowadays. I'm pretty sure that will be an availability real soon for you, sir.
Well, let's go. Let's frickin' go. You could, I was gonna say, oh yeah, you could come out, maybe like a Team Axel thing's happening, but none of them actually live in Texas. None of them live here.
I have learned that. The only content creator I did know that was working for like Axel that I was talking to closely was Glacier, and he just moved out to like California. So yeah, I've heard the similar trends here,
Yeah, I think the only guy who actually lives out here is Nindo, and he's over in Austin. I've heard there's actually like a ton of content creators that live in Austin. I don't know why.
But honestly, it's just mecca of just like technology and stuff right now. And on top of that, it's the fact that it also is just, again, no state income tax makes Texas already awesome. And then when you have Austin, which is a very up and coming city, it just attracts young people who are already there for, the industry in the first place, which honestly, shout out Austin, but also still very expensive. So like ridiculously expensive in comparison to every other city in that state.
Oh yeah, I think it's for that very reason, because all those tech companies are moving in, and real estate people are realizing, oh, we could actually charge people out the ass and they'll still pay for this. So that's why Houston is good. Houston good. Austin bad. Austin bad.
Austin just straight bad. Like there's just no love for you for Austin at all. It's just like it's just all hatred.
No, I haven't gone there yet. I'm pretty sure it's a good.
Wait. You haven't been there and you just don't like it?
Yes. No.
Is this just a rivalry thing? Is this just like you're from a different, like you live in a different place, so you have to hate it, like just straight up?
No, the only place that I actually dislike has got to be Dallas. I feel like Dallas is a terrible place. It has no character. There's nothing about it that exists except for Cowboys, I suppose.
I don't remember Cowboys last time I was in Dallas, but I'll take your word for it.
The football team.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense than just actual Cowboys, which is what I was picturing of just like you thinking it's like an old Western town, which that makes more sense. Anyways.
But speaking of hubs that have a ton of gaming content creators and esports people, you live in Vegas, right?
Yep. Yeah, Vegas, and it's you're not wrong. There's a lot of random people who live out here. Some people I like. It's funny enough. One of I think actually dude who was on the show prior, Tugboat is also out here, and him and I every once in a while catch up and like talk. And he's in a really interesting place to where it's like basically a gaming complex. Everybody that like works in the couple of buildings around him all have like gaming jobs and stuff like that. Like they work in esports, or they work in like background of gaming and stuff. And he's told me some names of some people who are there who like don't publicly say that they live in Vegas, and it's like tier 1 dudes that you'd never know are like in the city at all.
I wonder why. Why do you live in Vegas?
Similar to Texas, no state income tax. No state income tax. It's really it's like just overall in terms of like for a city, it's really cheap. My rent is a lot better. To preface this, I did grow up in the Bay Area, so everything is cheaper than the Bay Area to me. So it's just like when that's your baseline, you're looking for any city you can actually afford, and that's already better. And then honestly, one of the biggest reasons is the airport here is really connected to everywhere. I can get direct flights pretty much across the world. I got a direct flight to London last year for a LAN that I was going to, just like for RLCS. And then also everything's open late. So if I have a broadcast that ends at, I don't know, 10, 11 p.m. and I'm like hungry and I don't want to go make something, I can just go to wherever. There's like 20 restaurants around me open at like all times.
What's the go-to for a post-broadcast meal?
Oh, that's hard. Okay, so it kind of depends. I just moved like a couple months ago. Before that, it was down to like one or two places. It was either this place called Roberto's Taco Shop, which is like a chain of Mexican that goes around the city, and it's open 24/7. So you can just roll up like, yeah, exactly. Like it's I work APAC, which is like Asia Pacific. So my hours are like I would get done at broadcast at, I don't know, 6, 7 a.m. Like the sun's rising. And I'm like, all right, where on earth is actually open right now? And it was always open. So I'd go there, grab a breakfast burrito, get ready for either if I had another gig in the morning, do that, or just try to pass out afterwards. Or a place called, if it was early enough, if I'm like ending a broadcast at like, 9 or 10 o'clock, because I'm just doing like an East Coast thing, that would usually be, what's it called? A place called Chiba Hut. It's a sandwich place that's a sort of, what's it called? A chain here as well. Those two places, Chiba Hut's open till like 11 or 12 at night, and then like again Roberto's 24/7. So it's like the two of those. Since then I haven't really done much on this side of town. I think the only thing that's really open that late that it's like I don't have to like go on a drive to like 10 minutes out, because I live right next to like sort of a strip mall that's got a bunch of stuff, but that all closes at like 12-ish. And I have every other time I got enough broadcasts, I just go to random anything. But like McDonald's is also 2 feet away from me. So it's like there's just stuff open everywhere. I know that's a cop out answer, but it's like that's legitimately one of the easiest post broadcast meals ever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand that. I can only get like fries and the McFlurry at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a little different for you, huh?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about how you said that, but
Listen, honestly, if I didn't have the availability to go to fast food, I'd be thankful, because it's way too easy to rely on fast food for random one-stop shops and stuff, like especially for road trips. Like it is, oh, could we eat actual food? Nah, fast food, it takes 2 seconds, and that's like 90% of the mentality, I feel like.
You ever been to a what is it called? A Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, yes. Well, okay, where are you going with Cracker Barrel?
In terms of like road trip, you just see it on the side of the road and have that.
Yeah.
Because I had it on the way down to Houston. Me and my girlfriend Kirsa, we 2 13-hour days, absolutely terrible. We stop at a Cracker Barrel. The food was absolutely mid to low tier, and then I immediately had diarrhea after. So I feel like Cracker Barrel, Calv, it's trash. I know you're saying, oh yes, no, it's not good, bro.
I would not recommend Cracker Barrel. If you have the option of any other food, I feel like that's a better option at that point. Like literally anything else, it's not worth it. Isn't it also like not cheap anymore? It's like not expensive, but it's like not that cheap to the point where you'd probably go for something else regularly.
It's like a price point one step above Chili's, you know? So
that's not a good price point, though.
It's not a good price point. No. I used to work at a Applebee's, and they would actually charge us for food that we would have on our lunch breaks. So, like,
What?
yeah. We would get up to $5 off of a meal that we have during our lunch.
But congrats. Were you able to get yourself 2 sodas? That's so nice of them. How kind of them. Are you serious? $5?
Yep, so it would come out of our check, like, at the end of the pay period, like, all the different things that we had. Crazy.
And could you guys go and eat other places so you could get, not Chili's or well, no, excuse me, Applebee's. Or is it like
Applebee's.
you had to eat there?
Oh, we didn't have to eat there, I guess,
Okay,
but, like,
okay. Thank God.
you know, what am I gonna do? I'm already there, you know? It's a hard knock life at the bees, okay? You know, I've done...
No one has ever once called it that. I'm just gonna make that evidently clear that you are probably the only person who has ever called Applebee's the bees.
Listen,
Like,
man, listen, if you were on the inside of the neighborhood grill, you would know what I'm talking about.
Oh, is this what you guys all referred to? Was this just like everybody working there just called it the bees? Like y'all come in, you're like, hey, you ready for another day at the bees?
No, it was literally just me. I'm Captain.
Oh, okay. I thought you like started a trend here to where Applebee's workers just call it the bees from now on. I would have been like, yeah, absolutely, you know?
I mean, if you could start saying that around your friends, that would actually be a big help for me.
I think that means I have to talk about Applebee's in the first place, which is not a common topic of conversation amongst me and my friends. I'm just going to keep it real. The only reason it is ever a conversation is, I will not lie, between them and TGI Fridays, there are many a conversation about let's just get absolutely obliterated at an Applebee's or a TGI Fridays because the drinks are like $3.
You got the dollaritas, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, see that's the main like I will say this, there is a small little fantasy in my girlfriend's head of where she's like, one day I want to just go to an Applebee's and just get blasted. And I'm like, "Oh, I mean, that sounds fun." Kinda, I guess. I don't Would you rate that? Would you recommend that?
Oh, I'd run that shit up absolutely.
100%. You run that? You would do that?
100% I would do that. Yeah. But now keep it in your back pocket. Next time she says that, say, "Oh, you want to go to the bees?"
No. No, I don't think I can say.
Come on now.
I'm pretty sure that that's the end of the relationship if I call it the bees. I'm like
what?
99% positive that she'd look me dead in the eyes and go, if you ever say that again, you were banned from this household. You're just no more talking.
Come on.
I don't think I think the bees is just, it's too far. It's too far, man.
Well, all right, fine. Damn.
I can try. You know what? I'll try for you, Los. It'll be a sacrifice willing to make. If I don't have the ability for her to look me in the eyes for like a week because she doesn't respect me, it's a
Blame it
sacrifice
on
I'm
me.
willing to make.
Blame it on me.
It's
I'll
a sacrifice.
I'll send you like $10 or something, because that could get her blasted.
hell
That
yeah.
could get her
2
blasted
lunches
at the Applebee's. Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you?
there we go. I can get like 10 margaritas with that and drown my sorrows. Let's go. That's the vibe. That's absolutely the vibe.
So
100%.
it seems like a fair trade. I'm just.
How do we get on Applebee's? This is not it. This ain't it.
Oh my god. You ever work in a restaurant before?
Yeah, so I actually worked what's it called? I worked in 2 very weird stuff. I didn't ever work in like restaurants. I did like storefront stuff for food. I worked at a ice cream place in San Francisco, like a stupid popular one, and then I worked at the highest rated bakery in the country. Like Bon Appetit ranked it the #1 bakery in the US, and that was the worst job I've ever had. I hated that so much. Hated that so much.
What was the matter with it?
So again, it's the highest rated bakery in the country. So what does
Mm-hmm.
he do? Jack up the prices. It's in a really bougie neighborhood. Well, actually, it's not even in a bougie neighborhood. It's like 10, 20 minutes away from a bougie neighborhood in San Francisco. So all the bougie people around it just kind of come to it. So you're dealing with customers who are already entitled and annoying the entire day. On top of them being entitled and annoying, you're also sitting there in a high intensity environment because again, it's a French bakery, like the #1 bakery in the country. So everything's high standard. You got to talk to the customers a certain way. You got to like make sure that you're, appealing to them with how you're acting around them and all this stuff. It just was like super like it's the closest I've ever gotten to a short order cook type kitchen because it's just that vibe. You go into the back of the house and it's just everybody's angry at each other and like my what's it called, the owner of the place just cursing people out in French. Like not fun. Like croissant, any place that sells croissants for over $5, you know that you're gonna have some experiences to walk away.
Ooh.
Right?
So what did you do there? What was your role?
I was front of house. I was the guy on cashier. I was the guy serving croissants. I was doing like all of that type of stuff. So I was fully front of house. I was doing anything that had to do with like being up front. And the thing that sucked is that because I had over a year of experience working at that ice cream place that was also very busy. That ice cream place was you ever seen like what's it called? Like movies of San Francisco where they have that ice skating rink in front of that like weird water sculpture, like the like tubes or whatever the hell? Like it's semi-famous called Embarcadero Square. Um, they put an ice rink every winter, like let's say right here, and then there's the behind it is like the actual statue. Across from that, at the corner of where you get to the mall, is the ice cream place. So they'd set us up there. We'd have to try and serve hot chocolate from 9 a.m. until like 11 p.m. closing. And it was the most busy. Yeah, you just imagine 30 people all waiting there for hot chocolate and just absolutely overwhelming. Now, granted, I made like over $20 an hour off of tips because of how much people were just like throwing stuff at us, which was absolutely insane. But that kind of trained me into the guy that I was then going to the bakery. And so when the bakery realized, like, oh, this dude hustles, let's just put him in charge of stuff. And I was just like, oh, lovely. I'm having like solve coworker like conflicts and stuff. I'm like the mediator for all of that. So stressful environment, super narcissistic people who were like involved in it because of the fact that I had such prestigious, background and stuff to it. Just also never waking up at 4 a.m. for a job sucks. Just straight up. Like that's also another huge part of it.
Ugh. Oh yeah, because you gotta wake up hella early to get the baked goods for the people coming in the morning, right?
So I'm waking up at like probably 4:30. Got to get there by I think 6 o'clock was the time or so, and then we open at like 6:30 or 7.
When was this all taking place? Like, how old were you?
It's 3-4 years ago. It was like it was pre-COVID. It was when I came back from college. I is when I first dropped out of college. So when that happened is when I came back to San Francisco and I was working there. That place was just, yeah, dude. I all I remember is that people would literally like they'd try to just get in the door before we were even open. Like people would line up before the shop opened, and they'd get angry if at 7 o'clock on the dot or whatever time it was. I can't remember exactly. You didn't open the door. Like my boss would get angry because those people would just start throwing a fit, basically. Like they were that type of entitled rich people.
I mean, Mass, you just don't get it. They could buy and sell you. They deserve to own you.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware. We had a woman who would come in every day, never pre-order, never try and like call ahead and just ask for like literally 20, 30 croissants, which is like, over $100 total because of how many that is. And then she'd leave like a $5-10 tip. And I'm just like, oh, you guys are the worst. I hate all of you. All of you.
Listen, if you really want to have that millionaire mindset, you take that $5 and you start an LLC, and that's when the money really starts to kick in.
I start reselling the croissants at the bakeries. I got you. Upsell or whatever.
Yeah, drop shipping some croissants.
Drop ship. I don't think that'd work. I feel like there's an issue there somewhere along the chain to where that would get eventually disconnected and not work out. You know what I mean?
Perhaps. So
Perhaps.
You dropped out of college. What were you studying, and why'd you drop out? And also, where'd you go?
I was actually, so I went to Arizona. I was a freshman at Arizona in 2017. Dropped out in 18, so I only was there for a year. I was going to go into biology, but I never actually declared because I literally left before I even had the chance to, basically. But yeah, I went to Arizona for a year. Hated it. Really didn't like college just as a whole, and kind of came home and just started working like random one-off jobs and just like stuff like that. I was mainly a dog walker for a long time because I had done that throughout high school. I had like a lot of reps, and so I started doing training for dogs and then doing dog walking for like private clients and stuff. And dude, that stuff's profitable. It's wild. Like I honestly considered it as a full career for a little while, and then just kind of was like, not satisfied, not really sure what to do, not seeing a lot of future. What if I just went back to school at a community college, an hour or two away from from San Francisco. So I moved to Santa Cruz to where I went to community, and then COVID hit. And so I kind of was like, oh, great. Now I'm just going to have to go home and start doing community classes online. And then I dropped out again because casting started to take off a little bit, and I was hating going back to college. I was just not enjoying it, similar to the first time through. And eventually I just kind of was like, all right, you know what? I see a little bit of a future in casting. Let's see if we can full send this and see how long it takes. And lo and behold, here we are now.
What about it that rubbed you the wrong way? Why didn't you like it?
Just college, or just like the second time going through?
I suppose the first time when you were in person, and then I think I could understand why virtual isn't fun.
Yeah, virtual was just, dude, it sucked too because I was just like finally starting to get back into classes. I was never really an academic person. I struggled with academics all throughout high school, and the only reason that I ever really started to get on like track with my academics is just because I started taking Vyvanse for my ADHD. I've had severe ADHD, but didn't get diagnosed until I was like 15, 16, maybe even later than that. And so I really always struggled with academics. Just didn't like the coursework. Didn't like any of that stuff. The only reason I'll be honest, the only reason I went to college is because my parents were like, "Look, you've got really good testing grades. You test great. You should try and at least pursue academics. You know, we see a future for you guys doing this." My whole family had done academics. They'd all been very studious, and so it was just sort of a send it and see if it works out. I did not like it. I really should have just taken it either a year off or just gone to community initially, and I just didn't. So I don't know, just not an academic type person. Just not a. I was not built for college, and I realized it the second time through, but I was willing to at least kind of grind it out. And then COVID.
Did you enjoy the social aspect that came with college?
Yeah, yeah. I'll say that there's social aspects. There's a lot of like. Listen, there are some great memories I have of college, and then there's also some really shitty ones. I think it's a little bit of both, where if it's just like it was just not a good environment for me mentally, I think, to be in a place like that, especially considering I was already burnt out coming out of high school. So to just kind of try and truck through that going into college was not a good idea on my part.
I get that. So tell me about the start of casting. How did you get things together? How did you first realize you wanted to move into that?
Honestly, a little bit of luck. I had always been a person who was on Twitch and stuff. When I was a little kid, I was doing Twitch like crazy. I signed up for Twitch as soon as I turned 13. I knew what it was when it was just like first popping off, first starting out, just because I was chronically online the entire time that I was a child. And I started streaming when I was like 13, built up not a huge following, like a couple hundred followers, but had like pretty good numbers on average because, back in the day, if you have any much of an audience, it grows to a larger audience because there's not as many competitive people on the platform. So did that for a little while, kind of faded away from it when I got to high school and college as I started to get busier. And then when COVID hit, I went, all right, you know what? I haven't streamed in, I don't know, probably at that point 3 years, something like that. And so my entire thing was just like, let's build back up an audience. Let me start trying to do something at the time was Rocket League, which I was just like really enthused by. I was just playing a shit ton of it because I had come out of college. I had a friend in college who was a big fan of it. And so he just kept feeding, me more and more Rocket League stuff to the point where eventually I started streaming it. The streams turned into me mock casting it because I based it off of some people that I had seen on YouTube, some of the what are now RLCS casters. Back then they were just kind of content creators. Started doing that, started putting up tournaments on there's an in-game tournament thing for Rocket League and you can name it anything. So I would just name it 100 credits live now on Twitch or something like that. Just put up a couple hundred credits, which is like a dollar or two or something like that, and just slowly started building an audience of casting. Eventually, that led into a video I saw on YouTube from a dude named Sunless Khan, who's a really, really big content creator within Rocket League. And he put out a thing at the very end of it, which wasn't even an advertisement. It was just a league that apparently he had a hand in. And he was like, hey, they're looking for players, coaches, managers, casters. If you want to start in this community league, it's not paid, it's not nothing. Just try it out. And so I did that. And the rest is kind of history. It just kind of fell in place after that because I already had a Twitch community. The Twitch community then followed me to the broadcasts I was doing of IGL. The IGL people then also started building into the broadcast that I was just doing on my own, where I was hosting tournaments. And slowly but surely, I started getting in enough reps that I eventually got recognized by a league that you and I both know, NECC. And that was the first paid gig I ever had. And it just kind of went from there.
So you didn't just cast for NECC, you also worked as a talent manager. How did you get involved in that?
So that was actually, I was the first ever talent that anybody hired at NECC. When it initially started up, it was two dudes. It was Caleb and Jacob. And then after Caleb and Jacob, they brought in a dude named, what is this dude's name? I'm not gonna lie, I have somewhat intentionally forgotten his name because he was an ass. Like a really just annoying human being, and on top of that, he also, I believe, stole money from the NECC at one point. So I just kind of like tried to forget his entire existence altogether. And then another guy named Voltage. After those guys were there, they eventually brought in another dude named Booker, who you're not Smash at all, right? You don't work any Smash stuff.
No, but I interact with Booker. Like that would be the person who schedules everything for me.
Oh, because you're working at it. Yeah. Okay, you now know Booker. Right. I'm forgetting that you're now active with NECC. Yeah. So Booker, myself, and Voltage were basically the kind of trio going into the second season after not even second season. I'd say first season with a concept season, which was very rough. That was when I was brought in. And they kind of asked me, they're like, look, you've been on this. You are by far the best option we have for a caster to bring in here to put outside of just like a casting position. Would you be interested in being staff so that you can try and help us gather talent for, what would be the expansion into multiple games? And I said yes, just kind of on a, hey, I'm not doing much. This would be a huge in for esports. Maybe I can turn this into something further. And then, I started doing it. It was really a lot of time. I spent hundreds of hours probably trying to figure out this list, going through VOD after VOD after reel. And then my casting career just kind of blew up. I got very quickly into a lot of other gigs and kind of had to step away, just going, look, I don't have the time for this. And to be honest, at the time, it was just not paying well enough. It just wasn't worth it, like, for me to turn down casting gigs so that I could manage talent.
I've seen a decent amount of casters or broadcast talent end up in talent management, like Bach from the Valorant scene, Sajidine. I've also seen her work that for community gaming. Why do you think that is a position casters end up getting?
Honestly, because who knows casters and how good they are better than a caster? Like, as much as I love to listen to audience feedback and recognize people who are like, have an opinion from the outside looking in, there are so many casters I have worked with where I have an initial opinion going into that, work with them, see the flow that they have, the way that they work with a co-caster, the energy they bring and what they match, and have a completely different perspective. And I think that the only reason now I can kind of be able to look at a caster and judge them a little bit more is because I've been through that. I've done that enough times. I've realized how casters work. I've looked at the strategies of how casters speak, how they talk, how they act, and you just learn. I think you just learn a lot more about casting itself and comparison to somebody who has an idea of the art form, but again, they're outsiders looking in. They've never tried casting. They don't know what's actually going to make a good caster. They have theories about it, but they don't actually know. So I think talent managers being casters is a really, really good way to go. Another really good one of the head, I want to say talent managers for all of ESL is a dude named Inverum. Inverum used to be a huge CSGO caster, and then he stepped back to do talent management for ESL, and reasonably so, because, A, it's ESL, and B, if you get that type of call as a caster, like, why would you ever try and turn away from that?
Could you ever see yourself going back to a role like that when you feel that you've done enough casting?
I think that, to be honest, that is my goal. Like, straight up, that's what I want to do when all is said and done. I don't see myself stepping away from casting for over 10 years. If I have the option, I'd love to do this until I'm like probably in my late 30s, even early 40s. But at a certain point, once you get to that level, you're going to start to realize, hey, there's younger and more competitive talent that are willing to put in more hours who are probably going to pass me eventually. I should start to work into stuff in the background. I've talked to many casters who are in similar positions to where they start off really hot. They've got this, cooking, and then they start to see not a plateau, but hey, there's other younger talent that are also getting these shots, and they go, what do I have that's going to beat out these other younger talents? And then they move into other roles, consulting, coaching, management, background work, just all of that. And I think it's, again, Lemon Kiwi is a really good person that has spoken about this. She's like, look, for right now, this is a job you dreamed up of when you were a kid. Roll with the punches until we all got to get big boy, big girl jobs, because eventually one day it will come. But for right now, love what you do and put every second into it,
Absolutely. And, I feel like you already have a investment in newer talent and kind of like cultivating younger people coming in. Could you tell me why you, basically why? Why do you feel that way? It's almost like selfish. Where in my head, before you go, I'm thinking I gotta focus on me. I gotta make sure my shit is coming correct. I gotta do whatever I can to put myself at the best situation, and I can't think of other people in this moment. But why do you feel that you want to help younger talent?
Because honestly, it's a couple of different things. One of the biggest things is I live off of a philosophy of like, I don't eat unless the homies eat. I'm very much of the type of mentality of where it's like I try to put my friends and the people I care about first, just because of the fact that at the end of the day, esports is supposed to be a thriving enough space that we all have work. It's not supposed to be fish in a barrel where we're all trying to, fight each other to try and figure out, or excuse me, crabs in a barrel. That's the word, or crabs in a bucket. I think I'm mixing up all of my analogies.
Fish in a barrel would be the
that's
would
the
be the one.
shooting fish in a barrel, easy as. Yeah. I think crabs in a bucket is more what I'm thinking about. Regardless, point being here, we're not all supposed to be competitive to the point where we all have problems like trying to get gigs and stuff. It's supposed to be we have enough work that all of us are thriving. We all can do the jobs that we want at any moment. And I think that's really important, is to be able to have that mentality, because the minute that you start to focus on just yourself, no one's going to back you when it comes to those gigs. One of the biggest thing in talent is having other talent like you, because if nobody wants to work with you, no one's going to vouch for you. No one's going to try and put their stick their neck out so that they can try and defend you in instances. So very much about like being able to prop everybody up, because it's really it's important. And honestly, the other thing is I came up during COVID. There were 1.5 million casters attempting to get into esports during COVID, and not many of them actually made it. Only a select few, and I am one of those people to come out of Rocket League. Rocket League has not really had an influx of talent in a very long time, whether it's the CRL to RLCS to any of the scenes at all. Breaking into even the tier 2 scene there has been nigh impossible for a multitude of people. Up until myself, Danger Taco, and I would say Hercules are pretty much the 3 right now that have kind of made it into that echelon. Rome used to be here, but Rome doesn't do as much Rocket League anymore. He's another really good example of a guy who blew up during COVID. But like, when you're that person in tier 2, you know what it feels like to have people kind of ignore you and not really give you your representation, not try to give you your fair, your fair shout, your fair shots at stuff just because of the fact that you're the new kid on the block. And I've always tried to be as encouraging as I can because, look, to a degree, I got lucky. I might have hustled my ass off. I might have put in a lot of work, but there's still a lot of people who hustle and put their work in, but don't get the same luck, don't get the same shots as me. And so I'm very much of the type of where it's like, prop these people up, put them up, give them the shots that you wish that you could have given to yourself when you were younger, because there were people who did the same for you, but you don't recognize it. So be that person for somebody else. I don't care if I get anything in return. There's talent now who I don't really speak to anymore, who I've helped prop them up. I don't care. I'm just happy that they're actually doing something because it means that I made a good investment and that I chose correctly.
Yeah, I've actually had a situation where someone has taken that move and given me a shot, specifically Bach, who gave me a chance to work at Fragadelphia, my first ever, LAN outside of Battle for New York City. Shout out Brooklyn and Brooklyn. My first ever LAN that I left New York for, and it was crazy. I was like, why the fuck did he give me this? I had no idea why he would do that, but I got hooked up and it was sick. And speaking of giving people opportunities to either reach newer heights or potentially better themselves, let's take it back to a moment of your talent management time where someone didn't get an opportunity. I actually have the message here. You rejected me from the NECC Fall 2021 season. I asked you. You told me that you could give me feedback. I asked for feedback, and nary was any feedback given. So I'm just curious. Why did I make it?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. We had, I think the number that I remember is 200, either just about or just over 200 applicants of casters and of talent who applied to the NECC. I sent that message out in mass to probably about 80% of them. And so I was just kind of firing those off day by day, trying to figure out who I was saying hello to and just sort of like explaining the situation. I had a couple people who reached out to me and then asked for what the feedback was and the reasoning. I didn't get back to most of them, but I do remember there was a caster who was rather volatile about their response. So I kind of took a day off. Yeah, there was I'm not going to name names. I've actually settled with this person and do not have any sort of bad blood with them whatsoever. They're actually a really, really kind person and a friend of mine now. But at the time, they kind of came.
It's got to be Danger Taco, right? It's got to be him.
No, it is very much not. Taco actually did not apply to the original season of NECC. Back then, I remember him saying, he was like, I would be interested, but he was doing already too many other collegiate leagues that were conflicting at the time. Mm-hmm. But, Caster kind of came at me a little bit aggressive there, and I remember just kind of taking a step back and being like, look, I'll respond to people tomorrow. And then I think I forgot a couple people and you kind of slipped through the cracks. I don't remember why specifically you were rejected. I am sorry, Los.
Well, if there was over 200 people, was there specific reasons why anyone was rejected? Or did the team just say, okay, these people are good, these people are good? I don't feel like watching the rest of the 200 fucking reels right now.
No, we watched every single one.
Oh my God.
We watched every single one. I went through, so we all had specific groups of people to look through, and then if you wanted to go through everybody else, because I was technically, so the other people in that group were a production manager, a broadcast manager, and then myself was talent manager. So we all had to approve the talent, but I was the guy directly in charge of talent back then. So I went through everybody. I watched, dude, I hope you know, some of the shit we got submitted was fucking dumb. I was so angry at one person who was like, yo, I want to cast. I think at the time it was League of Legends. They were like, I don't cast League, but here's a VOD of me on a potato mic casting some random Smash event from a half a year ago. And I'm just like, what do you want me to judge off of it? Dude, the amount of shabby shit that was being sent in from people where I was like, you're not even showing me a reel of your game. I understand you want a shot here, but how are we supposed to judge you off of this when we have multiple other people? Literally, we were getting contenders Overwatch level people involved. Leg Day, and at the time, his duo in, before it was Lemon, I'm trying to remember his name. He does a lot of Valorant now. He's a very popular Valorant caster now.
I think it's Kramer, right? Like, and they
Yes,
did
thank you,
APAC.
Kramer. Oh, I love Kramer. He's such a nice dude. But yeah, Kramer and Leg Day like applied as a duo, and I'm sitting here with those guys, and then I have guys who are like trying to start out casting, and I'm just like, just stressing out. So I don't know. That there were multiple people though who I will say, I can't say yes or no if this was you. Knowing your talent, I'd have to hope so because again, this was 2 years ago at this point. There were
I've definitely gotten better. I'll say that. So if you rejected me based on 2021 talent, okay, it's fine.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. We had so many people who were like, we like them. We like their potential. We think they're very good at what they do. They're just being beat out by other more established talents who are a little bit more polished. There were so many people like that. Like we tiered them in like sort of like, yes, we'd like to, maybe, and then no's.
Do you still have that document? Was that a document you made?
I wonder if I do have that document, actually. I have not thought about that document in probably 2 years, since then. But I bet you that document does lurk somewhere way the fuck back for me if I can find that.
Listen, check the drive real quick. Check the drive. I want to know. I almost don't want to know, like, if I'm on a lower tier.
I'm trying to think because there were a lot. There were a lot of documents we went through. But all right, I'm searching up the word NECC in all of my drives because I've got a couple of different emails. Which one would this be involved in?
It's got to be bass@necc.gg if that even exists.
No, that wasn't. Oh. I do, however, have the what's it called? I have the original Rocket League caster application. I see this.
Okay, well, I definitely didn't apply for that because
no, I don't think that's you.
I only did one Rocket League event in the past, and I guess I sent the wrong invoice, and they printed the wrong thing on a check. And I was just like, you know what? I don't give a shit. They gave me free drinks and food, whatever.
We take that. I have found it.
Oh God,
I have found this. I have found this, and it gets better than that. I have a little 1-sentence summary of every caster and a rating next to them.
Oh my! Can you share the screen?
No, because there's a lot of casters on this list who are very
right.
prominent still nowadays, and I don't want to, take shots at them for that
Okay.
stuff. I will say, I remember this distinctly. I was by far the kindest of all of the people.
Oh
there.
no!
There was. I remember this. One of the guys we were working with, Voltage, came through, and like half of his ratings out of a 10 were like a 4 or a 5, and I was just like, oh my God.
Come on, come on now.
I mean, we did get a couple of people who I was like legitimately like very much just like, what the hell? I'll give you here's one because I don't even know if this caster is around. Tagline: applied for Val, only showed Rocket League, and I was very critical of their RL casting, so don't let me speak about him, and we move on. And I gave that person a 5. So I was like, again, I was the kinder of the people here.
I feel like 1 wrong reel and 2 not good or very critical comments on cast, that's lower than a 5. Maybe you were too nice.
I was being pretty nice. I will say this. I have found yours. You did get a good rating, actually. You beat out a lot of other people on this list.
Let's go!
I'm realizing now the main reason is you applied to Valorant, and what's it called? We had a lot of really large talent within Valorant applying. Again, Leg Day and Kramer applied to Valorant. Cairo applied to Valorant. Let's see who else. Chadlantis was on here for Valorant. Ravi was on here for Valorant. Seymour was on here for Valorant. Like, we got a lot of really well-established talent, which was one of the biggest issues we had.
Mm-hmm. What's my rating and line? Oh
okay,
no! Oh no!
You want the full? How young were you to casting at this point? Because this could actually make what's it called? This actually could make sense because now that I've actually seen you in person, every single criticism I have here feels like you've 100% like changed, like 100% solidified on.
If it's 2021 and it's fall 2021, I feel like
so this was young as hell for you, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
So
yeah.
this is like, okay, so you got a 7 out of 10. I said incredible cadence with really great confidence in his abilities. He's got an incredible voice. It's just a little bit corny in the way that he's hosting. It feels too scripted.
Bro, that's the same reason I didn't make The Circle on Netflix season 2. They thought I was fake.
And now you're natural with it, though. Now you figured out how to not sound like it's scripted and it's too drawn out. It's very free-flowing at this point. And I know that because, again, I just worked an entire lane with you on desk, and I could see that every day of the event. I was like, damn, this dude's crushing it. So yeah, like again, I liked you back then. Even then, I can read it 100%, and I'm realizing I'm like, yeah, this does make sense for a novice caster, one who's got naturally good abilities, but they're just not polished enough to where they can make it feel like a natural flow.
7 out of 10. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. There was a 7 out of 10 was like where I could like consider you very good, and then after that, it was just like you were competing. I'm looking at the numbers now. Valorant was our most competitive. Valorant had the highest number of people getting 8s or aboves out of any of the categories we had. Like I'm looking at this list and going like, oh damn, this really was competitive, huh?
Well, you know, I mean, it's a damn good game. You gotta have the best talent up in them. What's cool is that I've ended up working with pretty much everyone on that list, except for like that.
Yep.
Pretty much everyone. He's just out of my grasp, you know.
No, he's not. That's nonsense, bro. If you send Leg Day a DM right now, I guarantee you he'd respond.
I'm wondering if I have sent him a DM.
He's a sweetheart.
Let me check the Twitter sphere. Let me see if there's a DM in here. I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm reading my notes for Leg Day.
Okay, there's no DM. I'm not bad.
There you go. See, reach out. He can be nice. I'm reading my rankings. It is 9 out of 10. Liked him for Overwatch. I like him for Val, and that's the whole tagline. That's the entire tag.
That was the Leg Day tag.
Yeah, that was the whole one.
Has anyone gotten a 10 out of 10 on that?
Did I give anybody a 10? I don't think I gave anybody a 10. I was back then. It was very much I was willing to give people an 8 or a 9, but nobody was really perfect in my mind. Like because again, perfect is like tier 1, guarantee you won. I would never think what's it called? Think twice about that.
Like they probably wouldn't apply for any CC season 1.
Exactly. The highest people were getting was 9 out of 10. So I'm looking at this list and there's 1, 2. I only see 3 or 4, I think, total 9 out of 10s. And the thing that's going to make this all the harder is that 2 of them, if not 3 of them, were in Valorant. Again, this is how stacked this was with the amount of people that were applying to Valorant back then. This is when Val just came out, so any opportunities to hit the ground for Val was huge.
Yeah. Is there anyone on that list who was not a great rating, but now you see today, like, wow,
let's see,
they fucking kick ass?
Yeah. Yep. I found one. You know what? I'm friends enough with him. I think I can probably say that. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure because I don't want to be too aggressive with some of these people because it's like, again, they are friends, but I don't want to yeah, I think this is a good one to highlight. Where'd this go? Because I think this is a very fair one. Zephyr is on here and he was one of the people we turned down. This is back when Zephyr was kind of making his name in Apex and wasn't really doing much League stuff at the time. He had been a League caster, but wasn't involved in League. So I said 6 to 7 out of 10, engaging, but not necessarily comfortable within LoL. I know Zeph is a BR caster, and in a LoL environment, he felt really awkward at times and didn't know what to say at certain moments. And I think that's a fair assessment for somebody who now is doing, ALGS. He's not as comfortable in LoL. Maybe nowadays he can kind of play it off a little bit easier because he's a professional. But I think that's a fair rating. I don't think that's that hard, that harsh,
6 to 7, yeah. That's not bad at all. But, just gotta say, we beat him, baby. We beat him.
Again, I had a good rating for you. I liked your stuff back then, too. The only issue is, again, you're just in a really competitive category. Super competitive. You also, I will say this much, you were definitely on the upper end, though, of the people that were in this. So we got a couple of people that applied to Valor that were getting 6s and 5s.
Let's go! My ego is off the charts. 2021 Los is buzzing right now.
Well, I'm glad you at least get to work for any CC nowadays. I still love those dudes. I still get to talk to them every once in a while, and it's great to catch up with them. They're all good people.
We'll see if I'm still working with them. I had to bail the last 3 casts. I should work with them. We'll see.
I still, okay, crazy thing. I've told this to Chase Newcomb was one of the dudes we worked with this last weekend. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Oh, I met the Nukester.
I love him.
Nobody calls him that. I just made that up right now.
That one sticks better than the bees. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually, Chase and I had a whole conversation where I was telling him about this weekend, where I was like, so they never removed my admin perms for any CC. I have access to every chat in that entire Discord. I have access to every single thing, all the permits, all of that. So I'm still just waiting for the day where eventually they have a call out on Rocket League and they're like, hey, we need an emergency fill in. I just like in an hour, anybody willing to? And I just pop in and go, yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? And it's like I don't like don't even add me to the payroll, don't even add me to the system. Just like let me cast a game of Rocket League for you guys, just like old times.
It's just, is that RLCS bass?
There's a lot of dudes in there now, though, that are doing Rocket League that are still very well-established talents. Like, a couple of dudes who are, like, doing RLCS team streams and, like, very established stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's money, right? You know?
Yep.
Good to keep the reps in, keep yourself warmed up for stuff like that. So, I don't mind it. The only thing I don't like about it is doing bad games. I think we got to give up the bad teams. I'm just saying, put them down. They don't need to be streamed. We don't got to cover them.
All I'm going to say is that I've had this argument the first season I was working there, and I've heard that this argument still goes on to this day. I'm not going to add any more to this topic because I've had it too many times. It's like, hey, we have CRL level teams here, and you're throwing in teams that are literally not even SSL. I don't know if that terminology makes any sense to you. The point is it was not good games, and I agree with you 1,000%.
Okay, good. Wow. All right, moving on. You are a man who really enjoys the esport of Rocket League, so much so that you put it on your body. Could you tell me about your tattoos?
What a phrase. Hey, I put Fortnite on my body as well. Here, let's chill. Okay, I've done a little bit of both. Yeah, so my tattoos, I get tattoos every time that I do a LAN in person based on whoever wins the event. So the person who ends up winning the event gets to have somewhat of an influence on it, whether it's me asking them or just basing it around it. At this point, I think I've got 5 of them. They're all on my left arm here. So let's just go from start to finish. So this one is a bolt for a kid named Bolts who ended up winning DreamHack Atlanta. DreamHack Atlanta was the second, what was it called? Second Fortnite event that I ever did in person. I had done prior to that, I had done DreamHack Dallas, which is where I got this one from. This is just a question mark with a teeny little R at the bottom of it. And the reason for that is the kid who won it, his name was Ritual. Ritual at the time had 700 followers. He went from 700 to 5,000 overnight. He had never been in FNCS. He had never been a top competitor. After that, he became a mainstay within his region and became a huge name. But at the time, he was an unknown. He was a very, very small player and just kind of blew up after winning the lion's share of, I think it was 25,000. So I think he walked away with something like 10 Gs.
So your tattoo is almost like a slight saying this nobody want to
Listen, it's a little bit of a nobody type vibe. It's also a little bit of a, I just really like this design. My artist, I came to him and I was like, I got a very basic ass design. Can you do anything with this? And he went, yeah, I'll see what I can do. And then came back with this and I was like, oh my God. And that is how I knew that I would be holding on to this man forever. I still go to him to this day.
Is that back at home or is this in Vegas?
No, that's here in Vegas. So he was a apprentice when we first met him. He's now a full-time tattoo artist, but he was doing this stuff for free for me back then. So I was like, dude, go crazy, do whatever you want
for the free ski.
Yeah, for free. That's what, because you can't charge as an apprentice. You're not a licensed tattooer, so you can only take tips. That's the only thing you're allowed to take. So I would just tip him hey, it's a tattoo. Here's $50 on a tat, and normally this is a maybe $100 tat, so you're tipping, if that, maybe $25. Actually, that's pretty low. You'd probably want to tip somewhere around $30 to $40. But still, I'd try to tip him as much as I could because I was still broke back then. I just moved to Vegas. But so those two are the Fortnite ones. The Rocket League ones that I have are this guy here. This is probably everybody's favorite. The only person who has ever accurately guessed what this is, well, close enough, was Kari, Space Ghost. This is a baguette with a cape and a little mask. It is a super baguette, otherwise known as a super French team, because it was a French super team that won the World Championship of Rocket League last year. I got to do the first day of it, the wild card event, initially. And then, so this is just to kind of commemorate them winning. What other ones do I have that are based off of winners? 1, 2, 3. Oh, this one. This one is for a LAN that I did last year, CECC. The team who won Rocket League this year won it last year as well. They're called the Northwood Timberwolves. And this is basically a wolf with a log in its mouth. It is all American traditional, so this whole arm's going to be covered in American traditional. I thought I had more, but no, those are the only 4 that I have as of right now. I've got lined up. I don't know which one I'm going to be doing for this year's CECC, but soon.
What three do you
We'll
have
figure it out.
lined up?
I did a LAN in Ohio last year with a team that won was the Akron Zips. Their their mascot is a kangaroo. So I'm planning on getting a kangaroo skull with a red carnation coming out of it, which is the state flower for Ohio. So I'm gonna have that probably somewhere here, and then have the flower popping out of that. And then
Are you gonna run out of body for these tattoos? Like
I have nothing on anywhere else. So my whole chest is still clean. My entire back is still clean. All my legs are clean. So I'm planning on moving to that next. Right now, I'm just filling out the arms.
Oh my god! Would you move to the butt cheeks? Are the butt cheeks on the table?
Butt cheeks are gonna probably be reserved for like funny stuff, for stuff that is like only my girlfriend's gonna see. You know what I mean? Like imagine just putting like a little dude. My favorite example actually is a good one of this. I had a friend in college who he just got the words "send it" tattooed on his ass. So it's just like anytime that he's like naked or like you can see his ass, just says "send it" on it. That type of stuff I find funny. I don't think I'd ever put a meaningful tattoo on my butt. I think that's like deprived, if that makes sense.
There's no way that you could have actual sentimental cheeks. That just feels crazy.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? There's the every time I think about anybody getting a tattoo on their butt, that never seems like it's ever a tattoo of like meaning, if that makes sense. I've got more tattoos planned outside of just the land tattoos. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do upcoming, but like I don't think any of them are guided towards my butt at this point. If I'm gonna go anywhere next, it's probably going to my legs and then maybe my chest and my back. I want to get rib stuff, but ribs are incredibly painful.
So are you down to be fully covered?
More or less, yeah. I want to. I don't necessarily. I think I want to fill in my arms, like make it to the point where there's some skin still showing, but it's like mostly covered and stuff. This guy, I have a little tattoo here that was a flash that I got for free. Again, shout out to Brian. I want to have this expand this type of design all the way up this forearm, go to the back of it, cover here, and then go onto my hand. So I'm like planning on filling up my arms basically as much as I can.
Wow, that's it's like you don't have to wear clothes again because you just have it. You just got natural designs. So I have this idea here that you plan to go on many, many, many lands as your career. It's only going up, baby. So I feel like we might want to get some designs out of the way while we're here, and we could work on them together. We could both come up with some ideas. So I hope you have Microsoft Paint on your computer.
God. Yeah, I do.
Because we're gonna have to draw up some designs.
All right. Am I popping open Microsoft Paint?
You're popping open Microsoft Paint, and you're gonna share that screen.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay. All right. Resize this first off. Let's what are we looking at canvas wise here? We just want to do like a big old canvas, you know what I mean?
I feel like is this the right one? There we go. That's actually is not correct. Oh my god, I'm a ghost. I'm very transparent right now. Do you see this?
Wait, where? Oh,
you can't even see me. Hold on. We gotta go. Boom. There we go. That's a lot better. We're gonna swap sides though.
I don't know the size of this canvas, but it is relatively large. There's a large amount of pixels here. This should be doable, you know? Oh, you can't. The slider doesn't work here. This is why we use Paint 3D in this house.
Paint 3D? I've never used that.
That should also be installed on your system. I bet you if you search up Paint 3D, I bet you it exists.
Okay, I do have it. All right, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, see?
I'll pull it up. We're pulling it up.
All right, we're turning to Paint 3D peoples? Is that what we're doing instead?
Seems like I'm about to be converted. That's what's going on here.
It's a little bit cleaner. There's some stuff that sucks that's better in Paint, but for the most part, it's a little bit cleaner.
Okay, so the first team that we are gonna add to this piece of history known as your body, it's gonna be if G2 win a LAN. What are you gonna put? Get out of here, emails. What are you gonna put for G2? Well, we'll take a minute. We'll take about 60 seconds on the clock that I'm not actually going to put on the clock.
Oh gosh. Okay. If G2 win a LAN, honestly, I actually know exactly what I would do if I had a G2. If G2 won a LAN, so G2, a lot of people don't know this, their logo is a samurai. So if I was to do anything like that, I'd probably have like a little samurai man here. Let's see how good I can do a samurai helmet. Okay, first off, this is horrible, but it's better than I expected. So we got this little man with a samurai face. I'm just going to make him straight-faced here because I can't really do much better than that. I'll have the actual G2, like, you know, a much better version of this done at another time. But, like, imagine if I just had a samurai like this. Wait, no, hold up. I need to undo that. How do I undo that? I also need to undo. It's not going well. It's not going well.
Oh
Okay,
no! Oh no! Oh no!
No, we're getting better. We're getting back to this. Imagine if it was just like a samurai, just with like he got his arms up like this. Wow, that is a horrible arm. But he just has his like sword. Or oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Imagine. Oh no. Okay.
What is happening right now, Bass?
Some stuff is happening. It's a really bad hilt of a sword, but just imagine like a dude with like a katana going over top like this, but done in like American traditional. That is the worst katana of all time, but you get the idea where it's like it would be like him like this, you know, it's like knees planted to the ground. Imagine him just like swinging with his like shoes and stuff like this. Just imagine like a sword, but like not as bent and horrible as that, but like he just, you know, swinging over top, like just like swinging a katana like this. But like it says G2 or something somewhere, or it's like just representative. This is like the worst version of me drawing this, but you get the idea of it being a samurai, correct? Like this is, at least does that kind of a job.
Looks like maybe? A colonial general with the fake wig on.
All right, what if I gave him like a mask? What if I had like a samurai mask where it's just like, you know, it's blacked out like this.
Now it's Blackbeard.
Like, but like imagine like the ones where it's just like, okay, but like hear me out though. What if it were like the ones where it's just got like the scary teeth and stuff, where it's just got like his little like, you know, his nose.
Oh yeah, the Oni.
Just like, yeah, the Oni, and it's just like, okay, that's much worse. But you know, something like that, but like not as horrible. You know, I should save these and send these all as concept art to my artist and see if he can figure out anything.
Well, you know, we also have mine right here as well. That
oh my.
I think you know, I'm throwing you for a loop on this one. I don't know. Pyro, he knows good art when he sees it. So
I'll be real. I think you definitely did win this one. I think yours looks more like, I don't know if yours is a samurai as much as it more looks like a French revolutionary soldier. But it does convey something better than mine, because I don't think you could look at mine and have any idea what this is initially. Hold up, I'm gonna correct this sword and make it look a little bit better. Maybe that'll help. You know?
Okay, yeah. I'm ready for it.
I don't think this is gonna help, but I'm gonna try. Oh, that's the wrong. Oh no.
Oh man. Oh man.
So all right. So like, okay. All right. So hear me out. Just like, okay. Nope. That's not it. What if we did like this thick, and it was just like, imagine there's like a red hilt here, and then it's just like black blade, just like this, a little bit thicker there. Okay, this is much worse.
I think we should just move on to the next one, right?
Wow, that got worse. I made this worse.
So
that's actually much worse.
The next one, got a shout out to the homies, you know, the home team, Team Axel. Team Axel wins a LAN. I know you're a doubter.
I'm not a doubter. I've seen that team be good. You forget that I was the original Team Axel when they were Accelerate caster for RLCS. It was the first caster they had. Hold on now.
My mistake. Sorry about that. Now, what would a Team Axel tattoo be? I feel like I've got this. Yeah, Pyro knows. Pyro's the current one.
He is indeed.
Filled in for the miracle run. I'm not gonna lie. A little sidebar. I thought Sunday they were chalked, bro. I thought that was gonna be a GG over the weekend.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I was kind of cheering. I was kind of cheering both ways. I didn't want them to lose, but I didn't want G League to lose. I'm friends with the players on G League, so I was just kind of sitting there like, man, if anybody loses this, I'm gonna be sad.
I was like, yes. What they won? I
needed it more though. It was way more important for you guys. To
oh
be
my
real.
god!
Like it straight up, because you guys needed the what's it called? If you didn't make it to this event, you wouldn't make top 16, and then you wouldn't get to go to the Invitational. That was a much more important event for you guys in G League.
Yes. Shout out Team Axel. Shout out the boys.
All right, so Axel time.
Yeah, let's do it. I've got
You're just drawing the logo.
Oh no! I'm getting a little bit crazier than that.
You're getting crazier with that?
I'm
okay.
No logo slut. Don't think I'm that.
That reminds me of the Akron boys. They literally were like, "Yo, just get a Z on you in honor of the Zips," and I'm just like, "What?
That sucks. No. That's terrible."
That was the worst it was probably the worst recommendation I've ever gotten. I will keep it a buck. That is probably the worst one. I don't know what to do here. I'm thinking you could do like, the piston design, the stereotypical one
So,
that most people do. You know what I'm talking about? Where
It's that, but it's a sun. Because it's a new day for Team Axel, baby. And it's also got a smiley face in it, kind of like. So it looks like if you've ever watched Nickelodeon's All That, that's what it looks like. That's what we're going with.
I'm thinking more like this, where it's like, the piston like type vibe that they always have, where it's like something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then it's just
Hashtag full throttle, baby.
That's what I'm saying, something like that, and then it's just like some sort of writing in the center here.
Mhm.
I don't know what I'd put in the center because I don't want to just put Axel because I feel like that'd be a little bit whack. But I don't know if I do anything else. I could do full throttle. I still feel like that'd be. This might be a tattoo that goes on my butt because this one will be a little bit funny.
Yeah, full throttle on the butt cheeks. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine full throttle with these two little things, so just like full.
See, then you gotta slap your ass to rev you up.
I'm gonna ignore that and act like you didn't say that. I'm gonna act as if you didn't.
What?
This is the closest concept I could come up to in a minute because I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if I've thought too thoroughly about the Axel logo or what you guys represent because I'm realizing now, like, do you have like an animal or anything associated to you guys, or is it just
no? We're like the F1 checkered flag, so we're kind of like an F1 type deal.
I mean, okay, so the other thought I had was just asking them for their favorite Rocket League car because Axel works as it's, a car reference and stuff like that, and then just have like one of their designs done in like a more dramatic fashion.
So here's what you could do. This is the Merc. That's the best one. You could do that.
Your Merc looks scarily similar to a minivan.
Is that not what the Merc is?
No. I think you're thinking of, there's another car similar to that. What is the other car that is similar to the minivan? I feel like Pyro should probably know here.
I feel like it's Pyro. You got to back me up. It's the Nomad. Okay. Am I bugging? Okay. Absolutely. You know what? Minivan.
That is the Nomad. He is correct. That is definitely the Nomad.
Okay. My Rocket League knowledge has failed me once again. So
it does happen.
I'm gonna have to give it up to you. That one's a little bit better. Here's the last one. The year is 2029, and Losers Gaming has just won the RLCS World Championship.
All right. Okay.
What are you gonna put?
All right. This is a callback.
This is oh my god. I don't even need to write one. That's fucking phenomenal, bro. That is phenomenal. I'm
thinking I'd do something better than that.
No, that's it. That's the one. That's major. And shout out Septilence because that's a callback. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's either that or real talk. I would 100%. I can't draw this, but I will try my best. Either that or I would get that. I still remember you for the White Claw sword. Like I'd get the White Claw sword tattooed on me, like just like a little reference of a stick figure guy holding a White Claw sword. You know what I'm talking about? Just like posted up here with his like sword and stuff in hand.
And then people will be like, is that the G2 tattoo?
Damn, I didn't know you like G2 that much. You got 2 tattoos for them?
Yo, Lindsay, what up? Man, that is fantastic. But yo, I gotta say the 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is freaking phenomenal. Like
that would be such a reference. People would never understand that one. That'd be so specific. My God.
But I think that's what's good about it, right? And that's
true.
What's solid. It's the fact that only you and I, Pyro. My mom will get it. Will understand. Losers Gaming doesn't spell. Whoa, Pyro, you're not doing it right. It's LOS-ERS. LOS-ERS. Let me type it out for you. Losers. There we go. Come on now.
I think you might need to work on that. I feel like there are other ways to spell that could be more effective.
The branding's heat, and I refuse to change it. I will never change it. You know what?
Apologies, I shouldn't have recommended it. That's on me. You have the vision, I do not. I can't see it.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen. But with that 7 out of 10, I would say this episode was a 7 out of 10. Plenty of improvement. Almost fake sometimes. But I gotta say, Mr. Bass, formerly known as Bass from the past, I look very much forward to Bass of the future. I cannot wait to see you on more lands, and I cannot wait to see more teams on your skin, as weird as that sounds. But regardless, that's going to be the end of this show. Before we go, where can the people at home find you?
You can find me on @Bass from the past on pretty much anything. Yeah, that's my Twitch in there. That's my Twitter in there. I have a TikTok. I don't use it pretty much ever, but I'm trying to get
pretty
back
dry.
into
I've seen it.
Yeah, it is relatively dry. I agree with you on that. Real talk, you can mostly find me on RLCS streams and on Fortnite stuff. So a lot of my casting, you'll probably see me on higher level events. I'm doing the M80 stream tomorrow, so if you guys want to check in on that one, I'm going to be helping out the boys over at the pirate ship, matey. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun with them. And then I'm on RLCS APAC as well, and the Williams Resolve. And then who knows from there, because RLCS ends in like a month, and then we have a dry season. So you'll find out where you see me. You know, you'll see me somewhere.
We'll see him somewhere, but you sure enjoyed seeing him here tonight on Late Night with Los. That's going to be it. We're going to rate a friend of the show, Majora's Rose. Please show her some love. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Baz, for being in the studio. Thank you to all the Losers at home. LOS-ERS. It's a good name. It's good branding, and I'm not going to change my opinion on that. I might be doing a show next week. I don't know. I might be casting. We'll find out in just a little bit. Thank you again, and good night.